Did we test the laptop audio?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Whoa, really? Wow, we checked all the boxes before we got started?
We had to...
What are the odds of that?
Our podcast room was emptied. Completely deconstructed.
We have rebuilt it better and bigger than ever before.
Bigger, stronger, faster. For $6 million.
None of the above, Jeff. None
It definitely
of the above.
looks better. It looks cleaner.
It does.
It's always good when you make your bed in the morning. You know, you start your day off with being well-groomed.
And you feel fresh and
Yes.
energized.
Yeah.
We still have some cable management we need to...
And the carpet's
That's all right.
nice and
Work
fluffy.
through.
Huh?
It
How about
is.
this carpet?
It is.
I like what we did. So, you know, and there's no April Fools. I know it's April Fools 2025 today. But it's not April Fools. By the way, guys, you fucking suck. I hate all of you. April Fools.
But what if it's real?
No.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
look, welcome to another episode of Dudes Like Us. Thank you, Mr. Producer Chuck, for, look at, he's just pounding away at that sample already.
That's what I do.
He's that
Easy, brother. There are no seconds here.
All right, so it's April 1st, 2025. Check us out on Dudes Like Us on Facebook and Instagram. We're there. Dudes
We are
Like
there.
Us podcast and Woodcraft if you're up for their swag. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
And we have not done this in a while.
No, we have not.
We've had lots of things going on over the last, 3 weeks?
Well, you have.
Well, yes.
Dude, you went traveling, you little shit bird.
Yes, I did do that. We could talk about that. But we had to tear the room down
Oh, yeah.
first.
So on prior podcasts, we have alluded that Jeff had a major crisis with a hot water or water heater
Yes.
just dumping its bowels down below
Yes.
Jeff's house. So
Because you poorly maintained it, right?
I
Is
did,
that what
yeah.
it was?
It was. I was up there hitting it with a hammer, and I was like, what happens?
You're like, how do I make it hotter? Ding,
What if I hit this
ding,
pipe really
ding.
hard?
Julie wants the water hotter. How do I do that?
Right.
Well, I will tell you guys, I cannot leave my house without throngs of people saying, "Oh, hi, Paul, when are you guys going to post your next podcast?" Throngs. And it's getting irritating. I have to take the dogs out the back. So if we could
You don't
stay
have-
on schedule.
You don't have your security team, make a way opening for you?
I don't. I can't afford the security team that you guys have.
Oh.
Anyway, but I take the dogs out the back now. So
I don't have a problem with that. We used to have a problem. Chuck had a problem with that. One of our neighbors, old Jesse, chased Chuck down. Hey, man. Oh, my God.
HOA
Yes.
drama.
Oh, Lord have mercy, man. Some of these people are just ding-dongs.
You said you were going to clean the pool. How come the pool's not clean?
Oh, these guys are just off their
What's the
their
schmeg?
rocker, man.
How about me? I had to program the pool cards when I was on my HOA. And so I'd be like, I don't get paid for this shit, but a new person, joins the neighborhood. And so I'm like, okay, let me go program their card. And then I have some other little trinkets for them, that the HOA board wanted me to give them. And I'm like, ding dong. Hi, welcome to the neighborhood. What you want? What the fuck you? I'm like, I'm here to give you your new pool card, and here's how it works. And if you have any problems with it, okay, bang.
Did you talk about your other trinkets, like nipple rings and
Well, I mean, we had some.
nipple clips,
We had some.
dildos?
That's a neighborhood delicacy.
Here's a box of butt plugs.
By the way, our
for you.
next HOA flea market we're going to have out this next week. It's our biannual yard sale.
Gently used.
Yeah.
Gently used.
Yeah, this was all before what's his name and his parties. So, we didn't know about all that stuff.
Oh.
But no, it was more like people who were trying to advertise stuff, like in the neighborhood, somebody who owned an irrigation and somebody who made cookies. We were, they wanted to kind of advertise their shit and give free cookies as samples and shit. And
Well, we all make cookies.
Well, I mean, but these are real cookies.
It is that time though right now for not flea markets, but yard sales. Most communities right now, isn't that right, Mr. Producer Chuck?
This is yard
I think-
sale.
Yeah, the weather's turning.
Well, I
so
think it's because also this is the time of year a lot of folks try to sell their home.
Is it?
Yeah, the springtime is big because they want to sell it and be in place for the next school year.
Or generally spring cleaning. Some people
Well, that
just
too.
go- Yeah,
That
they're
too.
just like, you know what? I got to get rid of some of this shit. Like I did the other day, trying to get cars into the garage because my son was like, "There's a hailstorm coming. I got to get the car in the garage, which means you got to move your motorcycle to the back, and it's not going to fit. Now what are we going to do?" And so it was a lot of work to rearrange that garage and clean out stuff that's been that way since 2003, right?
Right.
So made a dump run, and so anyway,
Oh, we had a
that's-
little disruption. Chuck's over here. I guess we started talking. He got an erection, and it pushed the button in his pocket and set off the alarm for his car.
Nice.
Is that what happened? Your car alarm went off?
Exactly.
Well, we're doing that as well because we had to pull basically everything out of closets and rooms and all this shit you collect over the course of 20 plus years, right?
Right.
So now I've got boxes.
Over the course of 6 months. I mean, it just.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
It just keeps humming.
Well, then, I still have a couple of boxes downstairs I got to go through. Some stuff that Brandon left. I'm like, do I keep this? Does he really need this shit?
Right. Don't ask. Just throw it away.
And I'm sitting down there, and so we did that. I threw a lot of stuff away. I culled my closet, threw a bunch of clothes away I haven't worn in years. I'm like, why am I keeping my suits? For one thing, they don't fit me anymore.
Right.
Well, not yet.
No, they're...
There's no hope.
It's like Junior.
There's no hope to return to that.
I put the jacket on and I can close it, but the cut...
Fat guy in a little coat.
Yeah. No, but I wore the shit out of those things when I was in the hotel, and I'd sweat like a pig in those. I'm like, I'm just going to
forget that.
Get rid of these. I don't even know why I kept them.
It was funny because my son was getting frustrated because I would be like, there's some things I'm like, "Dude, I'm throwing this away." I was like, no, you're not throwing that away because I'm a pack rat. But also in the garage, you have shit that like, there's like, you need something for the perfect jerry rig, right? It's like, that thing is I don't know.
It's a perfect size. That board is 2 foot 6.5 inches. It's perfect.
Or I need a metal rod that's like 8 inches long, and
that's
what? I think I got
handy.
one of those.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like stupid shit like that you never know until the day somebody throws that shit out.
Yeah.
Then boom.
That's what happens to hoarders.
Yeah.
I may need this.
I am.
I may need this box.
My wife has trained me, and I don't want to say trained, but she
has.
Yeah, I guess she's trained. So, yeah. But the thing is I'm starting to let go of a bunch of stuff like that because all it does is build. Frankly, I can't do shit in my garage anyways because my kids have commandeered it until they move out. As far as with
they've made it their own little hangout.
Extracurricular. It's always 70s kind of theme.
Yes.
Oh no, what is that 70s show?
70s show.
Yeah, the
They got a
70s.
70s show hangout in there, and I'm just like, okay, that's why I'm gonna get pulled over.
Great. Yeah, but my son was like, so you're just gonna take all that stuff and move it to this corner for the next 15 years? And I was like,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. Or
I
you
said
can
when
just
you have
get
your
rid of
own
it.
when you have your own garage, you can have nothing in it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
You can throw everything away, then you go, damn it, maybe Dad has something I can use.
Right?
that was
Dad,
interesting.
you have an 8-inch metal pipe.
I renovated somebody's house for an older gentleman. He's passed away now, but his name is Dwight, and I think I may have spoke with him in the past. His name is Dwight Owen Coons.
Yes.
He was a flight surgeon for the Apollo program, and he was also a doctor. And my mother-in-law worked for him for an extended period.
I hope he was a doctor if he was a flight surgeon.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, he was a doctor, and he maintained his practice. He was also a paratrooper for the Canadian Air Force. He's got a huge history. So he was a huge pack rat. We were remodeling his house. He had passed away, and we remodeled his house while he was there. He passed away, and his wife continued to allow us to continue remodeling sections of the house. We do a kitchen, a bathroom, and then the patio, and just kind of jump from one spot to the other. And then she was just like, hey, my husband has things in the attic. I'd like for you to get them out. And I was like, oh, okay.
Like, get rid of them or just tell me
she
what's
wanted
up
to see
there?
what the fuck's up there. So
Okay.
I'm bringing him down, and dude, I shit you not. He drank a lot of coffee, and he had every coffee can he has ever purchased.
Empty.
No.
Oh.
He had a lid on every single one, and they were filled. One was filled with nuts. One was filled with bolts.
Oh,
one
okay.
had screws.
Well, that's-
one had hosher.
Those are good organizational
It is.
habits.
But there were thousands of them.
Oh, God.
So
Thousands of cans.
well, maybe not. I'll be a little sarcastic. There were hundreds for sure.
I think it's heavy.
And were they labeled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
they were organized.
At least he knew where they were and what to get out of
Yeah,
them.
he had so many things up there. He had a lot of relics from the Apollo program.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he had tons and tons and tons. And
Oh, that would be so cool.
I
to go through that
I
stuff.
actually had I had so
You should have asked him if they landed on the moon.
Then the conversation came up. But I will tell you,
where are the flagpoles?
it was kind
There's
of
no shadow. You see how there's no shadow?
It was interesting because his last name was Coons, and back then I know I've shared this before, but he had a picture hung on his wall, and it was a picture of Earth. And the other astronauts said, "Hey, we could not have done it without you." But his last name was Coons, and back then it was okay to use the word "nig" in that tone, and it was accepted back then.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's not accepted today, and I don't condone it, don't endorse it, et cetera, et cetera. But that was okay back then. In fact, when I looked at the picture and I looked at his wife, and I was like, it says to nig, and she was like, yeah, Bourbon, and I was like, oh, and she just said it right out like it was nothing. She's like, oh, it was nothing to say it back then. It was like a common thing.
Right.
It's not an offensive thing to say it back then. So, anyways, he got the name Dwight Owen Coons.
Was he a black guy?
No, he was white.
No.
His acronym was DOC, D-O-C, Dwight Owen Coons. And on the we could not have done it with you, and it says to nig, we could not have done it with you. And
Without you.
all the astronauts had signed it, and it's a picture of the Earth. And I just think that was kind of a cool, I want to say artifact. It was a cool piece to have, and it's not something you probably find in the Smithsonian.
Oh no,
you know?
that's
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
they'd display that at
Yeah.
the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
But it's still cool to have.
If that's his nickname, I guess
And-
that's hard to.
And I still have all kinds of little NASA relics and these prototype spaceships.
Like the fuse that Apollo 13 needed to get home. Is that the one that almost didn't make it back?
Apollo 13.
Yeah.
They
So
had to.
He had the fuse.
A man-made fuse.
Yes.
Well, no, they had multiple challenges, right? They had to power the thing completely down and power it up so that it didn't exceed a certain ridiculously low amount of power. Otherwise, it was, they would go.
It wouldn't have enough
They
power
would
to
pop
make
it. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to make it work. And then they had a filtration problem, and they had to take whatever was in the craft and make something so that it would filter out the excess carbon dioxide,
Right.
or they were going to pass out and die. There was like a number of things that would have
I need to
killed
watch
them.
that movie again.
It is
Yeah.
a miracle that they made it back. It is a fantastic.
Oh, is that with the one with Tom Hanks?
Oh yeah.
It's Apollo
And
13?
Bill,
Apollo 11?
and Bill,
What was
Bill
it?
Paxton. Yeah.
Was it
Is it
Apollo
Bill
11?
13.
It was
Bill.
Apollo 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronald Howard. Richie Cunningham made that movie.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever
So
happened to him?
you mentioned. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Whatever happened to Richie Cunningham?
He
You know?
makes movies.
Yeah,
He's-
I mean, but
still
just in
does?
general, he hasn't been in the news. Yeah, you don't hear him blasting off about politics or
No, he
anything like
did.
that. Isn't
He-
that refreshing?
He did a little bit during the whole
COVID.
election thing.
Oh yeah.
It may have been during COVID, but yeah, he pretty much kept his mouth shut. But I did hear him spout a couple of things.
Yeah.
Nothing too offensive.
When you talked about like the artifacts that people find in their attics about NASA or whatever, it reminds me of the time that I was working at this company where this woman, as a side business, would put together slideshows like, 40th birthday, 60th wedding anniversary. And so people would bring her like pictures and stuff of, what to put together for the presentation. And so I was walking by her cube and I was looking at all these pictures that were laid out on her cube. And I was like, are these? They were pictures of the three leaders in World War II. So it was Stalin and
Churchill and Roosevelt.
Churchill and Roosevelt. And I was like, I looked at her, I go, are these first person pictures like from someone's camera? Yeah, I'm doing a slideshow for.
Well, you're like, look
this
over there.
lady. Yeah, I'm like,
Pockets on.
he was a photographer during the war, and she brought me these pictures, and I'm like, do you have any idea? And it was all the pictures you would never see in a textbook, like from
Right.
the side and from the top, and him zooming in, and I gave me goosebumps that this guy was there taking pictures of this shit.
Mhm.
It was amazing, and you know that kind of stuff is like
It's out there.
It's out there.
It's going to
In
get
attics.
lost. These people are going to die, get lost. It's
Yes.
going to go to some estate sale.
and then
Some
somebody's
collector.
going to buy like these two walnuts for $1 and not know that they're worth $10,000 as a set.
Right.
Yeah, but you have to have a set.
It has to be both of them.
What is that show they have on? It might be PBS. It's where someone brings
Antique
something.
Roadshow.
Yeah,
isn't
the
it?
Antique Roadshow. God bless. I have that. When we turn the TV on, that automatically goes to that TV that show right now. And it's a trip. I love watching that thing. These people are just always astonished. We're like, oh my god, this spoon is worth $10,000.
I ate my porridge off of it.
Well, then they get pictures like picture frames, and they get just for the picture frame, not for the picture, and they tear it open. It's like, oh, here's a first edition Declaration of the Independence. I was like, what? I mean, it's crazy what people have out there, and they don't know it.
And you just stumble upon it sometimes.
And they don't. The children don't know what their
This
parents
was
had.
this was under my bed, rolled in a carpet. This lady had a Civil War sword by a specific general, and it'd been under her bed in a carpet forever. So when they moved, they were like, "Where am I going to put this? I don't know. Let's just tuck it here." So it was under there forever.
Right.
You know,
Right.
through several mattresses. And when they moved, they were like, "Oh, what is this?" Rolled it out. This thing comes out.
Right.
And then they found the sword.
Insane.
That he killed her.
Yes.
Yeah, you find other nefarious things.
The
under
worst story I heard, kind of related to this. It was in Israel, where these children, as a surprise to their parents, bought them a new mattress. Right? Took the old mattress out, threw it away, put the new mattress in, and
beds.
and the parents come in. It had his life savings in it.
It's kind of like, if you get a new workbench in your garage.
Yeah, like your son wants to buy you a better organizational system, and then you're like, oh.
You cut me deep, Jeff. Yeah.
Didn't that happen to you, Sean?
100%. I tell you what, man. Don't fuck with another man's tools. I've got it happened. It's like
and it's so hard not to be like a loving dad.
He just got cut up.
This is great, son. This is totally better than what I had.
Are those my good blades that you cut that with?
So he tore out all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And replaced it with something that was like totally minimal.
Oh.
It was like 4 2x4s and a plywood.
And you're like, I could do a lot of work on this. Yeah. Thanks, son.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Whatever.
It was the thought.
It was the thought.
I remember
but how do you not be like?
Well, I remember when that happened. He was just like, you were fighting. You're just like, I can't yell.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it.
Yell.
Tell him you love him, Sean. Tell him you love him.
Yes.
And you're like, fuck.
So we went to the whiskey festival, the Plano one.
We did recently.
Have we talked about that?
No, because
we haven't had a podcast since then.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's not even on the board. What the hell am I thinking?
Well, I looked down and saw the tickets that we got from the Bent Distillery.
Yeah, we haven't talked in 3 weeks?
Yeah, so that was our second excursion to that festival, and this time we did not have the honor of having Mr. Jeff with us because you were frolicking, gallivanting.
Not at that time. I was probably in Arkansas somewhere driving back.
Whatever. You were off in your Kentucky experience, where he had, oh look, I'm at this distillery. Oh, this distillery. This one after another. Did you count? It was 421 pictures from eight to 10 distilleries.
Well, you know what? Good for you. And I saved all of them, actually. I got them in a little portfolio. But while he was out there doing this, he had a great time. Went out there to visit his sister, squared up on some family business, went out there to go visit the Bourbon Trail.
You went to a bunch of them.
But while he was gone, it was Scott Cash and the rest of the dudes like us, the dudes without you were out there.
We represented.
We did.
We did our best.
We saw 1845 folks were out there. Shout out to Lowry Crossing 1845 Distillery. You guys are fantastic.
But it was 2 new people that I had never met before.
Yeah.
These were salespeople.
Brandon.
They were the external.
Right.
Yeah.
Brandon was out there.
Brandon and not Sophia. It started with an S.
Clementine.
Huh?
Sarah?
No.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Susie.
No, it's like a long name. Like
Sharon.
Stefani. Stephanopoulos.
It couldn't have been Stephalopoulos, but that sounds similar.
Snuffleupagus.
Stuff me.
And do we have a filtration problem?
Oh, that was
in the room.
Can you smell that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
Are you sorry?
Did he just shit himself?
No, that's not true.
No, he shit
so
on
it was
us.
1845 Distillery. We had Austin Craft Spirits there, Balcones, Bent, Wyoming Green, Maverick Whiskey, Iron Root, Giant Texas, Mossy Horn, whom
that was Maverick.
Maverick.
I've never heard of that one.
Maverick Whiskey. That was actually it was pretty fair.
I apologize if Jeff and I are muffled at the moment. We have our shirts over our faces due to a filtration problem here in the room.
So Jackie Mack was out there representing the 6th Street Spirits, and they had a barrel strength. You know what? We so I don't know if you know. Well, last year when we had this podcast afterwards, Paul had to be evac because we just got slobbering drunk. We didn't eat beforehand, and it was a train wreck. This time
it was an epic train wreck.
This time we were like, "Hey, look, we're showing up early."
It was a dramatic improvement.
We're going. We still look.
It was still a fail.
I don't consider it a fail.
We had goals.
I don't consider it a fail because we look. I wanted to have fun. And I wanted to drink, and we had a driver. We had a plan.
We did.
And we ate beforehand. So, yes, we were drunk, but at the same time, it was a controlled, fun, good time.
It was a major improvement.
Yeah.
Sean had every meat on a stick that was available in downtown Plano.
Yes.
Yeah, well.
You went on a rampage.
Hey,
a food truck rampage.
Hey, look, I try to eat healthy all week, so that I can anticipate that kind of stuff. And, the trend prevails. Hey, man, I've lost another 5 pounds this week. I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, good. Well, there you go.
And so we followed up by getting, we went to the same bar. What is the name of the bar we went to?
I don't know. Train wreck.
No, but we walk in there. We sat at the same table that we sat last year.
We did. Yeah, we
did you have bandanas on?
We did.
No, we did not.
We didn't.
No, we were. I'm telling you, we were toasty, but we weren't fucked up.
We were fucked up.
On the
last
right
year.
back, Chuck did activate a lot of safety domes with his kind of aggressive, touchy-feely tendencies in nature.
What is going
outside,
on?
Outside of that,
I was in the front seat.
Yeah, which made it really weird that you were reaching back.
Did I bask in a sun visor? Is that?
That must have been
another time.
You were almost comatose in the back seat. You just kind of, oh my god, I'm so drunk.
Yeah.
You sounded like a
Is he get to the point where he couldn't talk?
Yeah, you sound like a sorority girl at a frat party. Oh my god, I'm so
I've been
drunk.
roofied. What is my butt hurt?
I don't understand what happened. What happened?
Whatever. It was a great time. We enjoyed it. We gotta take care of your son. We never really did pay, did we?
No,
Correct. Yeah.
Because I kept
we had to
asking.
settle everything up.
Yeah, well, we got to set up because I need to get funded for those the tickets. They were 30. I think I'm out of the pocket $135
and the bar tab and the ride. I was asking what's the amount, gentlemen?
Well, all right. Well, let's get that set up. And we got to. Jeff bought like a fucking 20 bottles of bourbon while he was out there.
He came back with a trailer full of bourbon.
I had to get a hitch for the car.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm excited. I'm super excited. And Jeff, I think he's a little butthurt because we didn't want to jump in there and open all the Christmas presents.
They want it to be like Christmas every week.
Yes, we
want.
You realize it's going to take like the rest of the year to get through all of it.
Hey, I'm excited about that.
Christmas every Tuesday.
I called it.
Didn't you say that?
It's our Tuesday Advent calendar.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Well, our first one's tonight. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Open the little door.
Anyway, so we got a ton of I've got 5 bottles at the house we haven't even brought over yet.
God.
So we're not buying whiskey for a while.
I'm gonna have to do a payment plan, like I said.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. But the whiskey festival is good. Balcones represented out there. Miley McGreen represented. Shout out again to Jackie Mack from the 6th Street. They were introducing a barrel strength, which was pretty good.
That was
tasty.
Austin Street or Austin.
Did they have
6th Street?
Chuck's favorite, the spiced one?
No, they did not have that one.
No.
It was,
we
laughed their ass out of there. Man.
So 6th Street, Austin, or Austin 6th Street, whatever the name of that is. That's the one with the guitar bottle, and I think we have sampled it before, and we were like, God.
Well, that one, Jeff bought a peculiar. What was that all about? It was like a candied one.
No, what I bought was a rock and rye.
It was terrible.
Yeah, but there was some sort of like they dumped a box of nerds in there or something. What was that all about?
I mean, it was hard candy plus cloves plus.
It tasted
but
like,
you're talking about a bottle that you purchased elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was at the festival. Those were good.
Yeah, they were fine. Yeah.
Do they distill their own shit, or are they buying their juice from someone?
You're always asking these difficult questions that we're supposed to ask them. Do you guys make your own distillate?
I ask them.
Do they?
No,
I
do
can't
not.
remember. Are you sure?
I'm positive. And it's kind of crazy because now that MPG aren't they going private or something?
Yeah,
where you can't even get their shit anymore.
They're starting to pull back their own stuff.
Well, they've opened up their own line. If you see Ross and Squibb Distillery. That's MGP. So they'll bottle it under Ross and Squibb, like Remus is Ross and Squibb, and they have a few others out there. And they purchased Penelope. So Penelope is now owned by MGP.
Interesting.
And Penelope was MGP juice anyway.
I mean, Penelope.
Penelope.
Yeah. Okay.
Penelope,
okay.
yes.
You always say it wrong.
Yeah, Penelope.
Okay, so our Mr. Producer brought up Austin Street Spirits, and it says it's a micro distillery. So you guys might be wrong. Wrong. Very wrong. I think they make their own stuff.
I don't know. That's why I asked the question.
I thought she said that they buy MGP juice.
It was good, though. I was impressed. Now, granted, it was towards the end in terms of the circle of booths.
I thought it was right in the middle.
It was on the end, meaning you kind of circle and come back. Which, at that point...
That'd be the middle. So.
No. Because there weren't as many on that side as the other side.
All right. Fair enough.
But here's a big win. Remember last time we didn't make it to the end?
Dude, we were drunk on the third booth.
We didn't make it. We didn't make it.
And
I
didn't bring my.
You didn't finish it again?
This time, we not only made it all the way around, we went back to several that were our favorites. It was a tremendous.
We hung out at the 1845 booth for an extended period.
We did.
There was a huge gust of wind that had just come through.
Yes.
It was crazy, and we're just like the 10x10 tent was almost airborne, and we all jumped up and grabbed it.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, thank you," and we immediately just hold our glass out and just fill our cup with.
It was constantly being filled. We didn't have to be a hero for that.
Yeah.
But it was appreciated.
Did you make any more contacts for podcast visits?
Yeah, we
told a number of people about the podcast for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we need to get the T-shirts, and I think Chuck.
Hey, you want to bring them?
Jackie Mack totally called us out on it. She was like, "You're seriously not wearing."
Oh, look he's got.
You're not wearing your podcast. Here we go. This is the reveal, gentlemen.
Oh wow.
He had shirts made.
Throw it to Paul. I don't want you missing.
All right, let's take a look here.
Are they size
You two
fat?
need to trade, I think.
I love it.
I think you need to trade, Sean, Paul. Oh no,
I'd smell that.
I'd smell that.
So on the back, Dudes Like Us podcast, I'd smell that.
That is awesome.
And this, you talking about the size?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that you?
Yeah, I got a 2X.
This is an XL.
I got a 2X.
Yeah.
I got 2X.
Okay, all right. So
whatever you need. I have one extra.
Let's describe this for our listeners. So on the front right patch, it says "Dudes Like Us." It's a barrel top. At the end of it, there's a microphone. A state of Texas. That's sharp, man. And on the back, that's a bigger one of the logo, and it says "I'd smell that." And that's a direct reference to, I believe,
Natalie Portman's asshole.
No, Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba. What? I'm not sure what prompted somebody else to say that.
Something about her.
You said that.
You said that.
What are you talking about? I would never say that.
100%
talking about
said that.
just
some other
her.
Why would I say that about another woman? That's crazy.
No.
I don't know. Only you can answer that.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah.
Only you.
Because I would smell that. All right. Anyway, so
I think we all
these
would.
are fantastic, Chuck.
Yes.
So if you see us walking around with them,
at all events,
say hi.
at all events, we need to wear this
100%.
because we'll stand out and be like, "What is that?" Why aren't they all
Even
wearing
on
the
our
same?
Friday runs. I know that might seem corny, but it's not.
Yeah. All right. Deal.
It's already a thing where, like, the people at Total Wine would be like, "These guys, they do a podcast," and we're like, "Yeah, we do."
Chuck, he also got is it a monthly or annually a subscription?
Annual. Yeah.
So he got an annual subscription to the software that you use to get the graphics to make those. Is it just the graphics or is it the whole T-shirt thing?
Well, yeah. Well, you can. It's called design.com, and you can go have them kind of create maybe a half a dozen logos for you, and then you can pick one and send that off to Amazon and have them printed on a shirt. With the graphic, GIF or JPEG or whatever you got.
Oh, I've got 2 of them here, so we got to.
I bought an extra.
All right.
Well, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
Chuck.
very cool.
Yeah,
Thank you for taking that initiative. That's super cool.
That turned out very, very well.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to contemplate on the next one. But right now, I think we're gonna wear those Friday, right? Are we all in town Friday?
I'd smell that.
I think so.
Good grief, man.
I know. I think so. But you know where we should wear these? Remember you signed up for the White House press conference?
Oh, yes. Did we ever get our press pass?
We are wearing these.
Caroline
for the White
Levitt's
House.
calling on us.
Our press
Yes.
credential?
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to follow up on that.
See, we're gonna stand up, and the camera's gonna be that, and everyone's gonna see. I'd smell that
Yeah.
as we're asking our question.
Yeah. Actually, we need a little on the front side in the lower section because the shirt will fall down over our waist. We put a little
perfect.
scratch and sniff right there on the very bottom.
That's a horrible idea.
Well, right now it's near our butt crack, so
Yeah.
It's just lower back.
it's lower back.
Small.
That's great.
Well, that's good, and we had a great time. The Whiskey Festival, and Jackie Mack, she's the proponent behind pushing us to get those T-shirts. She's told us that several times, and it's just like another failed opportunity. You know, we are starting to take the podcast step by step, a little bit more better and better. Like tomorrow, for example. First of all, are we caught up?
Yes,
I believe so.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're 100%.
So,
there.
I mean, tomorrow, are we prepared to come here and edit?
And do our new routine.
Yeah, in theory. I mean, I have a dinner. I have an executive dinner tomorrow, but
Oh.
Ooh.
Steak and potatoes.
that's Thursdays. But I may, you know what? Whatever. We'll figure it out. But
if we can't do it, we can't do it. I mean, we'll
yeah,
you know,
but again, we want to make an agreement. Whatever. The thing is that we need to get it out sooner than later.
Yeah.
And we also not need to depend on Jeff to get this shit done all the time. But
Right.
you know, dudes like us out there, you know, this is what we do for fun. It's our
Yeah.
hobby. It's something that we enjoy doing. We've been friends for a long time, and there's people that have approached us and says, "You guys are idiots.
Totally.
You need to freaking start
Yes.
your own podcast." And we're like, you know what? I think we'd smell that. I think let's do that.
we'd smell that.
Hey man,
Right.
you know, it was just a compilation of errors that we just stumbled on this. It just worked out. I can't believe this
Yeah.
is where we're at now, even though we have 8 listeners. And thanks, Mom and Dad. And
It'll be
shout out to
7.
Larry. Shout out to Brian out there. Those guys.
All of our kids.
We know them
Yeah.
all by name.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a good time. We
I
can't,
think there's more. I don't trust those analytics.
It's
Yeah,
really frustrating.
there is more.
It's frustrating that, I mean, in this day and age, with how important those numbers are to people that are monetizing and have their business and stuff, how are those numbers like super accurate?
I don't know. I don't know. They
It's-
can't do it. They can't get accurate
it's
numbers.
so weird.
They even say they can't get accurate.
I know.
numbers.
That's what I mean. It's like, what? How do you? I guess the best thing to do is how many subscribers you have, and that's really what we need people to do. Is go to Instagram.
Well, you got to look at YouTube. You
subscribe.
got to look at YouTube. You got to look at, Instagram, the followers.
Well, that's a good point. We're on so many platforms that it's
We're diluted a little
it's
bit.
diluted. Yes, that
Well,
was
I mean,
the word I was going to use.
I'll tell you what, if the listeners out there are listening right now, you can direct messages on Instagram or Facebook. Check out Dudes Like Us podcast on either of them. Just give us a help, man. We need we're super smart but super dumb, you know, or ignorant or whatever. I hate making it sound negative. We just need to be pushed, and we've had some great advice from several people. And really, at the end of the day, we need cameras. So if you guys want to help fund our cameras, God bless.
That would be wonderful.
Check out our Facebook. I have a QR code directly to the DS Murphy Productions bank account.
There you
Feel
go.
free to send it.
Hey, nice.
It'll fund the dudes like us.
Maybe. Well,
Speaking
cool.
of funding, so you're done with the God bless the repairs in the house,
Yes.
100% done, and we're still kind of trying to get things cleaned up a little bit, step by step. Things look great up here. Super excited about it.
Yeah, did a rearrangement of the green room. I think
Yeah.
was an improvement.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
And you know the irony? I know you had a big blowout in your attic with your water heater. I had a much more fortunate experience. The water just it wasn't hot anymore, right? And so it was like, okay, well, the pilot light must have gone out in the attic, right? So I go up there and the pan is full of water.
oh,
And I'm like, that's not good. And so I call my buddy who's a plumber, and he's like, he figured out how old the water heater was, and he's like, with a leak, he's never seen one not have blowout. So I was extremely fortunate.
where's yours at?
In the attic,
Well, I know, but what part of upstairs?
right over the media room. Literally, it actually straddles the media room and the game room where my bar is.
Oh yeah.
It straddles that wall.
So
So
what you
it's
got now?
right over the pony wall we want to take out.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
You should let it go.
Should have let it go, I guess. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We could have paid for that remodel, I guess. Yeah, I guess. But
That's not
No.
too late.
I would not. Kink, kink. Hey, it sprung a leak. Yeah, it was an experience. And you kind of walked me through it in that emergency moment, Sean, and I appreciated that. I was like, so we grabbed a hose and hooked it up super quick and started draining it down into the tub, and and kind of got the emergency passed, and then I could shut it off. And
yeah, you got to be careful too. Some people, it has happened in the past where once you start draining it, a lot of the integrity of a water heater is when it's full.
Right, because the pressure of the water is
it's
kind of
keeping
holding the
everything out.
walls together.
So some folks are like, well, I drained it. It's about halfway. I should be good for now. Well, that's not, because the pressure kind of collapses inward a little bit.
No, I drained it completely empty. Yeah.
Well, that's good, and there's little simple things on how to drain it, by allowing air in and making sure, they don't make it easy because they have a knob at the base where you hook the water, the hose to, and you're thinking
that out. Yeah.
It should be a valve that you simply it's counterclockwise or clockwise, and one's open and one's closed.
Like
with
all the way open, all the way closed, right?
With this one, it's similar to a gas line where it is a T valve, essentially. So
it's like halfway open is open.
So you turn the dial a quarter turn.
Right.
You turn a quarter turn, and
in either direction, yes.
Yeah, you turn.
If it's in alignment, it's open.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
if
closed.
it's perpendicular, then it's closed. But it just doesn't make sense the way they did it. So
it doesn't.
And
it's funny because Brody's down in the bathroom, and you're walking me through opening it up, and he's like, "It's a little harder. No, it's off. No, it's got a little bit more. It's off. No, it's not." And then finally, you're like, "Make it aligned," and he's like, "Oh, it's blasting out now." So we're like,
Did you go? How many days did you go without hot water?
It was same day.
Oh, same day.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as it got cold, we were like, I went up there to see what the hell was going on. And the other funny thing, I'm like, I know I have one of those things that lay in the pan, and it's supposed to set off an alarm.
Oh, yeah.
And I go up there and I'm like, why didn't it's sitting outside of the pan? I'm like, well, that's helpful. And not only that though, it that unit had died long ago. Like he was trying to get it to go off, like to test it and stuff, and
right.
it had, dude. That thing's been sitting in the sweltering attic for 20 years.
Experiences, and I'm glad we're talking about it. And it's unfortunate that it happened to Jeff, and it's fortunate that the way you caught it, but it's the dudes like us go. Shit happens because once that stuff,
I mean, the first one I did proactively change. Because somebody had told me when it gets about the 10-year mark, you need to just go ahead and replace it. And I did with no problems. I think there were no problems at the time. This one I let go 15. And he was like, yeah, you got
You've been in the house for 25 years?
No, 20 since 2003. So
that's when we moved
22, yeah, that's long.
22. So in the first one I think it was 8 years and then 15. So 23 years, yeah.
Well, shoot, man. We're getting old.
I know, right?
Yeah, we moved in here same year, 2003, over Labor Day.
Yep. Ours was like February.
Dun, dun, dun,
to beat me.
And why I distinctly remember that is I watched Columbia, the Columbia shuttle. Remember it re-entried over Texas?
Oh, is that when it blew up?
I watched it break apart on the horizon going, what the hell was that? And it was an empty house. Like I was with my brothers. We were kind of having a little camping night before we even moved in.
Right.
And they were sleeping. And I was looking over the horizon out that window, and I was like, and it was sonic boom. I was like, dude, what is going on? And then my pager went off about 15 minutes later. Communication with Columbia lost. And I was like, no way did I just watch that happen. Mm-hmm. That was insane. And that's basically when I moved into the house.
I was wondering how that conversation came up.
I know.
What did I just miss?
Yeah, you're like, quick left turn, huh?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to make a left turn somewhere else, and then I lost track of what was going on.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. So what else has happened in the long break that we...
March Madness is going on, and I have watched zero of it, and I could care less about it this year.
Yeah, I don't care about it
I didn't even do a bracket. Not that I really care, but I don't even know who's in it at this point. I see up there it says Final Four, all number ones.
Yeah, so that's the first time in 17 years that all 4 of the regions, the number 1 seed, made it to the Final Four.
I've been hearing a lot of theories on this, that the day of the Cinderella team could be over because of the whole NIL thing. Because what happens is this whole transfer portal it's wrecking basketball just like it's wrecking football.
Yep.
What's happening are these big schools, the number one seeds, are poaching the good players off of all these little teams.
Stacking teams.
So you may have a SMU that does really well one year because they have a really good player on there.
Right.
And they make it to the Sweet 16. Well, Duke's going to go to that guy and go, I want to pay you this much if you come play. Okay. So then SMU's back down.
I get so confused about NIL. So you're saying the schools are paying them?
Yes.
I thought they're getting it from. I thought they were allowed to have like endorsement deals, or I thought their money was coming.
I thought the schools had a budget they were able to pay these people.
But Duke is in the Final Four, aren't they? Typically in the Final Four.
Oh well, they're always.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're
always
perennially good.
So Chuck, can you look up how does NIL work? How does
it's name, image,
where
likeness?
Does that money come from?
It's name, image, likeness is what that stands for.
Right.
So like they'll get paid for if they're on the video games and shit like that. But I also think the schools could pay them. I could be 100%
Yeah,
wrong on
I've
that.
always been curious about where the money comes from.
I think boosters can do it.
All right, let's see here. You're right. It's name, image, likeness. Money for college athletes comes from NIL collectives.
Boosters and donors.
Boosters and
Boners.
boners and boosters.
That's like AOC saying
Okay.
farts a couple
I was
weeks ago.
100% wrong. Okay, I admit that. It says not directly from the universities or NCAA, but those boosters of Duke are working in conjunction with those coaches. You know it. Going, I want that person, go get them.
Before it became, quote, legal, that's what the boosters were doing. That's
Correct.
how SMU got the death penalty.
Yep.
I mean,
So,
and that's how Johnny Manziel got paid by A&M boosters, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's just how it worked.
Yep.
Well, now it's legal.
Now it's legal.
Illegal. Yeah.
So that's what's happening is so some of these schools that you can see pop up every now and then.
So they have more money. The bigger schools.
The bigger schools have bigger boosters, donors.
So they've got more money
alumni.
to spend, just like in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
The freaking,
Dodgers.
The big city
Yep.
programs have more money to spend, and they can go way over the cap.
Yep. So
that's bullshit, man.
So that's kind of the theory because all the top teams were winning, and none of the Cinderellas weren't there this year.
Yeah, the lowest rank in the Sweet 16 was Arkansas at 10.
And they should have won that game. They should have beat Texas Tech. They fell apart in the last 3 minutes. Crazy.
Aw.
No, I didn't really care. Yeah, my sons, they both went to Arkansas, so they were giving me shit about A&M losing.
Oh yeah.
And so as soon as they said it in the same breath of like, yeah, we're playing Tech, and A&M lost. Now I said go Tech. They were like, don't be like that. I was like, dude, then don't dog on A&M, man.
So who's in the Final Four?
It is Florida, Duke, Auburn,
Houston,
and Houston.
I know nothing about those teams, so.
And I did pick Auburn to win the whole thing. Go figure. I might have for the first time ever been this far as a possible winning team.
This is the first time I don't think I've paid any attention to this.
War Damn Eagle.
What's that?
War Damn Eagle.
Right.
It's funny
That's
because it coincidentally, I had opportunity to grab some tickets to the Mavericks today, and I was it was for tomorrow night. I really didn't have any inclination that I'd go, and I called Paul, and he was like, "Do you want these, or do you have any desire to go?" And he was kind of like, "Fuck no, I'm not interested."
To go see Luka? Absolutely, we should have.
Was LA coming to town?
He went to the Lakers.
Oh, now it's
never mind.
awkward.
I'm sorry.
I don't have any desire to see them right now. It's
None. Zero.
So it's just like
Even the Lakers, I wouldn't want to see. I couldn't care less about the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm done with the NBA for a while. I mean, I really am.
I'm just waiting for Caitlin Clark to come back.
Yeah.
That's all I'm waiting for. That's it. Nothing else.
Where'd she go?
The Fever, the WNBA, they haven't started up yet.
Oh, I thought she got sick or something.
You're gay.
I know you get all bent out of shape about my excitement about watching her play basketball.
I think she's great.
So
She is fun to
NCAA
watch.
women's basketball, has the viewership dropped?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Since
Since Caitlin Clark,
Because did you watch any of it?
I did, but I didn't watch men either. So, I mean, I haven't watched.
But
any
you watched
basketball.
Well, you watched the women's quite a bit last year.
Only because of Caitlin Clark.
That's what I mean. So
Yeah.
I was curious what their viewership was like this year. Did
Good
it
question.
dip back down?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would assume they kind of did, but I don't know. We'll see. And then now there's some players in the WNBA talking about a boycott because they don't think they're making enough money. I was like, if they because they have a collective bargaining agreement that they have to.
They don't bring in the money.
I know they don't, but their agreement has expired and they need a new one, right? So the players are talking about like boycotting because they want more money. It literally would be the, what do you call it? The death knell. Death knell. I don't know. I never used that in a sentence. This might be the first time in my life.
Ooh.
That would be the death knell of the WNBA. I can promise you.
Yep. Well, the NBA funds it.
What is that word, knell? What does that mean? Nell? Kenl? Enll?
Death knell.
What does that word even mean? Do you guys know what death knell means? All right, it's Knell. Which
a bell rung to announce a death?
The tolling of a bell to mark someone's death. No shit.
So basically, if they did that, you'd hear a bong.
Did you know that?
Bring out your dead.
I did not know that.
Bong, bong,
That's very interesting. When somebody says death knell, it's a bell meaning they died.
Bong, bong. Oh,
That's not
Star
the same
Wars?
thing. That is Star Wars. That's Darth Vader.
Hold on, but they've got another one. It's
oh my God, are you confusing yourself?
Yeah, because there is another one like that. No, it's similar to the Darth Vader march. It's the Imperial March. You know what? I don't care anymore. It's like boom, boom, whatever.
You're doing it again.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. There you go.
I think
you don't recall the scene. That's like when the Reaper comes in.
Isn't that the wedding march?
It's like when the Reaper comes in on any classic Warner Brothers cartoon with
like Hanna-Barbera, right?
No, well, Warner Brothers were.
No. Let's just stay focused. He's talking about Death Knell,
right?
And an ominous song.
Yeah, I know what song you mean. I have no idea what the name of it is, though.
Okay, well, let's quickly move on then.
It's
before it turns into that. God. Anyway, do we have a drink to talk about, or is it too early?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right. Well,
we have probably about 15 minutes left, so let's talk about it.
All right. Well, who wants to do the honors?
All right. Well, Jeff, from
you know what? You're the one that gallivanted all over Kentucky. Why don't you tell us the story behind how you found this?
I drove 1,000 miles for this.
Just for this. Yes, just for that. And how did you pick it? And what is it?
It is a bourbon. My wife and I stopped at Heaven Hill, distillery, and we did the tour. They don't have a distillery on site there right now.
They do not. Just the rick houses.
They are building one.
Yes, a very expensive one.
$200 million.
Oh shit, that's a lot.
$200 million.
Jeez.
100,000.
And it comes during a time when the market is softening.
Yeah, I know. 100,000 square feet. So they don't. So you tour the different rick houses, and it's very, very interesting. And you get to sample a bunch of their stuff as you go. JTS Brown is one of them.
Yeah, no.
So in the gift shop, you have all their stuff, and you're hoping that they'd have some drops there that you could get.
Yeah, some uniques.
Right. But when I was up there, they had all the standard shit. I wasn't going to get that, but I'd get distillery only or Kentucky only because we can't get it down here, right?
Right.
So this Five Brothers is Kentucky only. We can't get it down here.
Okay.
So that's why I picked it up. And it's not real expensive, $50 maybe, 90 proof.
Super easy to drink.
Oh, yeah.
Super easy. Almost too easy.
Yeah, I could stick a freaking straw in there.
I mean, start to finish, it's sweet, sweet, sweet.
Yeah, it's very sweet. I wrote a note down that on the nose there's lots of vanillas and just sweetness on the nose.
Wonder what the mash bill is. It's got to be a ton of corn.
78% corn, 12% rye, 10% malted barley.
There you go. There you have it. And, the site of the rick houses was where they had that meltdown.
The fire, yes.
Yeah, the distillery caught fire. The distillery was on site farther down that road, and it caught fire, and all the rick houses went up.
Correct.
And it was a river of fire.
Yeah, she didn't talk. She talked about the fire a little bit. She showed us some where there were still some scorch marks on some of the buildings you could see. But then
that was 1994, 96? When was that fire?
It was late 90s, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And what's interesting, the name Heaven Hill comes from the land that these five brothers bought.
Is that the picture of the five brothers you were just showing there? I'm sure it
Yes.
was. I'm sure it was.
So
Interesting.
these five brothers, I can't remember their names. I'm sure Chuck will find it.
Is it Jim Beam?
The
Did I see?
The Shapiro brothers. They bought it from a gentleman, all this land called Heaven Hill.
Yep.
And
in 1934.
Approached Mose, George, Gary David, and Ed Shapiro.
Yeah, so they bought it from a gentleman. His last name was Heaven Hill. And when they were looking for a name and everything for this, and they're like, well, let's show honor to the person who owned this for years and years and years.
Very nice.
So they submitted it to the patent office, and they had it one word, Heaven Hill Distilleries.
Mm-hmm.
The clerk who got it thought they made a mistake, and she added the space in there.
Oh, wow.
So that's how it's Heaven Space Hill, Heaven Hill Distillery.
Interesting.
And they didn't want to spend the $35 to fix it.
And so they left it that way.
So they left it that way.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Hey, scroll down. I see a reference to Jim Beam. What's the reference there? Keep going down.
When it was burnt down, well, I don't know.
Right there. From the beginning, members of the making family oversaw the distillation process. Of course.
Yes.
In 1935, it was Joe and Harry Beam who brought their know-how and set the standard for quality. Dude, everything in Kentucky is somehow linked to the Beam family.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, it's just like anything else. I mean, you get like a car, you're building a motor. I mean, there's just simple. It's just like arithmetic. It's like a recipe. It's just standard building blocks. Yeah, but they had to do it.
But when their distillery went down, they used the Jim Beam plant to make their stuff.
Oh, nice.
And then they ended up buying the Bernheim distillery plant, and they bought that later on and started making their stuff there. And then finally, the oldest, I don't know if it's still one of the brothers or anyway, the oldest CEO, is starting to turn over the reins to the next generation.
Yeah.
And he said that he was very frugal. That's why he didn't build a distillery. But the new crop of kids coming up are like, no, we need to spend money and expand and
grow. So he what do they call that, niggardly?
Yes, he was
frugal.
Yes, he was very frugal.
It's crazy. It's crazy. In other words, he's a cheapskate.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, she said that he was very frugal, so that he just kept doing what he was doing. Right?
Isn't that crazy how you can't say that word or guerrilla warfare or anything like that just because it's part of it?
Because it's misunderstood.
I mean,
very
both of you
easily.
just cringed when I said that,
Yeah.
even though the word was germane to the conversation.
That's true.
100%.
I can't.
But why did you say it?
For the shock and awe to watch
Of
YouTube.
course, exactly.
Yeah, but it was a true word and it fit.
No, it is. You used it correctly. Yes.
You did. I'll give credit for that. All right, so here's November 7th, 1996 is when this interesting employee reported smoke. Downs and Parker Beam hopped inside Beam's truck. So, dude, even Beam employees were working in 1996. It's so incestuous is not the right word, but
incestuous?
Yeah, I mean, it's just
I can't say that, but you can say incestuous.
The Beam family is just so ingrained in everything up there, which is not a bad thing. It's just really interesting. But anyway, well then there we go. All right, so what do we think? Five brothers. We know we know it's sweet. It's 90 proof, so we know what we're up against in terms of what we're comparing it to. It doesn't have a lot of wow factor.
The finish is pretty short for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a really good sweetness, super easy to drink. It's almost like sweet tea almost.
This would be perfect.
Super easy to drink.
Yeah, this would be perfect for somebody who never drinks something straight.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're like, no, drink it straight.
No.
Oh, dude, I can't.
So it does.
No, try this.
It has a nice golden amber look.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. The aromas match it.
Yeah. It's the most polite bourbon I've ever tried.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, if you're really going to dive into it, it has a light char. It may have a little butterscotch.
Yeah.
May.
What makes it only available there? Why is it so special? Like, why do they?
They didn't say.
They didn't say.
No.
Okay.
They just said this. The tour lady said this is Kentucky only, but also the ladies in the gift shop said this is Kentucky. Actually, they had to make a sign on it as well.
A little subtle rye on there.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's very, very refreshing.
Yeah.
And normally we'll be like, oh my God, there's nothing to this. This sucks.
Brown sugar. But it doesn't suck.
It doesn't.
No.
It really doesn't.
It just, like you said, there's not the wow factor there. And it's like you have to actually put it in your mouth and taste it.
Yeah.
But it like you said, it ends really quick.
Yeah.
It's like it's a fantastic ride, but then it's like those amusement park rides. It's like, God bless, that fucking was over in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted that rush to keep going.
Oh, yeah, it says a quick drop-off in intensity leaves a lingering sweet note that's pleasant and appealing.
Yeah, it's got a little botanical floral tapering at the very end. It kind of leaves you happy.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
A little Southern Belle.
I think this would be a great starter over the 80 proofer.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to jump up to the 90,
Something decent.
This would be, I would recommend this 100%.
If they could ever find it, of course.
Well, yeah, if you can get it.
Well, how does it rank on the rarity?
You know what? I don't know. Let's scan it. I've not had it.
Oh, this is going to be an exciting moment.
Super exciting.
This is real time information.
And while we're doing that, let's come up with a rating here. Mr. Producer, are we ready for a rate?
Imagine it's common. What are your guesses?
It should be. It's readily available. Readily available at the distillery or at.
I would not say it's common if it's readily available.
Well, only there, yeah.
So it's not readily available.
It's going to be. I'm going to say restricted. Is that an option?
Restricted?
No.
What are the options? It's a unicorn. It's rare.
I'd say rare.
It is common, uncommon, rare, unicorn, and impossible.
We'll have to say uncommon.
And a bitch, please.
That's one of the things.
That's one of them. This is one of our bitch pleases. All right, so I say uncommon. Because literally it is hard to find, hard to get, not hard to find. You know exactly where it is. It's just hard to get.
It is uncommon.
Score.
Very good.
Yeah, well, I would say it's uncommon. I would say it's rare. I mean, because if it's not found in stores and it's only found at the distillery.
Well, you know where it is. It's not rare. You just drive to the distillery and buy it.
Oh,
but
I guess that's an option.
But not a lot of people do it. Anyway, I like it. Let's rate it. Let's go in a 90 proofs. I will give this a 6.6.
Wow,
that low?
No, I mean, hey man,
no, because
it's not low. It's
because
yours.
You're looking at some good ones. We had one last week we really liked, and then we also have the Michter's, which is what 94, 95.
Michter's is always the benchmark for me.
Yeah, the Michter's
in the
10.
90s.
And Michter's, it's the standard Michter's. I think
one's
is right
very
at 90.
soft. Like you said, it's entry level. It's a great starter of the night to get the old spices moving, getting the libido kind of warped into space into shape. I'm gonna hit it with a 69.
Ooh.
Wow.
I think I'm about
his libido's been ignited.
Oh, that's right. I think it's. I'm going to give this a 6.7.
All right. Well, there we go. Throw out the high, throw out the low.
And there you have the facts of life.
Right.
Facts of life.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't know how he broke into song.
Are we? I thought we were going to do a little 80s sitcoms. Did you guys?
Oh, I did not do any research on that.
80s sitcoms. Do we have time? How much time do we have left?
No, we got like 10
not right
minutes.
now.
We got 10 minutes?
Not right now.
All right, well, let's talk about some other things we missed in the last couple weeks.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, dudes like us out there, getting your car fucking totaled sucks. Can we talk about that?
Oh, yeah.
I've had that happen before. Wow. Actually, we're all going through shit right now. I went through it. You kind of escaped it. Sean's dealing with it now with his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it sucks, man. Especially when you're minding your own business.
Yeah, completely, totally not your fault at all.
100%. And all of a sudden, boom, I was like, God bless it. And, look, at the end of the day, when something like that happens to anybody and you walk away from it.
Count your blessings.
I'm
for
thankful.
Did the airbags deploy?
Negative. No, I was hit from the side, not the front.
Okay.
So it did not, and I don't have any side airbags. Actually, I don't even know. But it mostly hit the wheel well. It took out the whole it just knocked the axle. She really did a great job smacking that area.
Did she just run a light?
Right through the God blessing thing. Some Asian children that, they're students, college students it looked like. They were in a Lexus and they didn't stop. They just went right on through heading west. And we, being the truck to my left and myself, I took a right heading west and the other truck went south. And going straight, she hit the shit out of that truck. And because that was kind of like when I heard the noise, I was like, "Oh shit!" I
And
turned
then
around.
and then the truck hit you.
No, the Lexus did. She
Oh, wow.
literally went through the knocked the truck out of the way
And then hit you.
and then hit me.
Damn.
And I'm amazed that her car was only damaged the way it was. You know, it's
That's
just
a testament to Lexus, I guess.
And they walked away fine.
everyone walked away fine. Everyone walked away fine.
She had to be going pretty fast, too.
I was kind of in. I don't know if I was in shock or what the deal was. I
Oh.
didn't even want to get out of the car. I was just sat there, and I the first thing I did was call the non-emergency number, and I said, "Hey, there's a car wreck. Blah 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 blah." Actually, I don't remember if I
You're
called
like, I'm in
911.
it.
Actually, I think I did call 911.
I was going to
And,
say, what is the non-emergency?
8.
Yeah.
411? No, 8 is the digging. Jeff.
Dig test.
Jeff. Yeah,
Hey, you know what? Yeah, I just get a wreck.
they're like,
Need some holes dug?
No, they had everyone come out there. It was pretty. Shout out to the Frisco Police Department and the Fire Department. They went out there and they did a quick job. And look, I'm thankful. But I didn't get out of the car. I didn't.
Did they do a sobriety test on anybody?
No, I don't know. I stuck to myself. I didn't go
Wait,
over
it
to
was
the other cars.
Morning. Wasn't it morning?
It was about 10:30 ish.
Yeah,
Ish,
they probably
somewhere in
don't
there.
do that unless
Oh.
you're like slurring.
Well, true, but people drink. Alcoholics drink all the time.
They do.
they-
I'm not saying
They were
don't.
students. They had student books in their car. Who knows? I don't even care, man. That the thing is that I was fine. I pulled up on the grass. I called my neighbor. He was available, and he swung by, and he had his truck, and I just took everything out of the car that I felt. I had 5 to 10 minutes before he got there, and I just took everything out. Went through everything. Every nook and cranny.
I'm remembering now. You did call me.
I did.
Shelly and I were on the bike coming back from Oklahoma, and I pulled over onto the shoulder, and Shelly was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I got a 911 from Sean." So I turned off the bike and called you, and you're like, "I got into a wreck." And I was like, "Oh, shit." Anyway, you said, everything's fine. I'm just wondering if you're nearby so I can, and I was like, "Shit, man, I'm in Oklahoma."
Yeah. Well, it happens, and there, there's things that you got to reach out to the people around you, and
Yeah,
thankfully, my neighbor was around, and it worked out. At the end of the day, fuck it. He drove me all the way to the Dallas, the DFW airport to get a rental.
Oh, wow.
Because the company I usually Hertz, they were stacked. They didn't have any vehicles, so they always have them at the airport. So
Well, you should definitely call him next time because I wouldn't have done that.
I would have sat bitch behind your motorcycle. Just, let's go, Paul.
You carrying all your shit?
Go faster, go faster.
Yeah, just like you did with Brian,
Yeah. Can I hold on to you, Paul?
Well, did you see the accident that happened in front of the Star?
Oh, I
No.
heard that guy had a heart attack.
Well, yeah, but did you see?
Oh, he hit 7 cars. That's
he
right.
ripped the front end off of a Cybertruck.
What?
He hit it so hard the front end was ripped
Yeah,
off.
it was a medical emergency, is what I heard. But he hit.
That's a Cybertruck up front.
Oh my God!
Ripped it in half, or the back end, or whatever that
So
is.
he just went down the line
boom.
and hit 7 cars.
Well, he had a heart attack. I don't even know if he lived.
Yeah, he ended up on his side. He was driving. Well, he was driving. From what I understand, a big G-Wagon, which weighed like tremendous amount of weight. Also,
Oh my gosh! And all were unoccupied cars. That helps. And no one's injured other than non-life-threatening injuries. Yeah, what a nightmare. When I heard that, I was 100% thinking drunk driver, all that kind of stuff. And then I heard medical emergency. How often does that happen, you think?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But there's every time I'm thinking there's some little ooh la la terrorist freaking just doing stupid
you
shit.
think you think the
Always.
absolute worst.
It's because it's so relevant.
Yeah.
Well, it gets me. It was the Cybertruck. I wonder if, because you would think, that's touted as, safe and
Maybe it is.
made out of steel and
Maybe
all
it
this.
falls apart.
I wonder if Tesla looked at that and go, I want that so I can look at it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
you would think it's like a tank. You're absolutely right. That's crazy.
but they're also lucky that, or maybe it's built in by design that there's a G-Wagon. The batteries didn't
Right.
explode. I mean, look at that.
It didn't.
Ripped it all the way off.
Yeah.
The whole back end of it.
Well,
That's crazy.
it's unfortunate. Yeah, we're looking at the car. They're pulling the car back over on its four wheels. But I got the rental car. I had 2 inspections left. I missed one. I hit the other 2. But the whole process was kind of lame, which brings up a moment where dudes like us out there might want to get rental coverage for your car.
Yeah.
Unless
you have an extra car or a convenient type of arrangement.
Yeah. Well, that
but otherwise, get rental.
I get it because it's worth it in the long run. Because I didn't have it. I thought I did have it, honestly.
Yeah.
And they must have took it off. I think they took it off without me knowing about it. I don't know, but I didn't have it. I rented a car for a week, and I tell you what, the whole process was a pain in the ass.
Yeah. That adds up.
It does, and they're not. And I'll tell you what really pisses me off is that they don't pay for your tolls. I don't want them to pay for my tolls, but that's not what I was driving at. So when you rent a car, you have an option. You pay for your tolls up front. You pay $15 a day,
okay,
and it covers all your tolls. Or you don't get that service,
okay,
and they will bill you for every toll you hit.
Sure,
but there's a service charge that is more than double the amount of the actual toll.
That is bullshit. And they didn't tell you that?
Well, no, I knew that. And I was like, hey, look, pay for the $15.
Yeah, the all-inclusive
and deduct
package.
it from my payout. And they would not do it. So now, when I submit my car,
yeah,
when I finally, they're going to deduct all those tolls, and it's going to be double. It's going to cost more than the actual fucking rental of the car.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just like, what's the sense? I'm going to end up owing you money for taking this car, and you guys should be paying me. It really, it makes me mad, and I blame, you can't blame Hertz necessarily, but it's it's NTTA.
Yeah.
It's criminal.
It is. And you know what? And Jeff, I know that's not the case for you. You've always been kind of conscientious about tolls and how they can add up, but I have not been. I've been on cruise control. Right? But now when you get on Google Maps and you're picking a route to go, I'm not doing it to
avoid tolls.
Well, you can, but I'm not doing it to avoid tolls. I'm just figuring out what route to go. And now it pops up and says this route's going to be, $10.
Yep.
And I'm like, but I'm going to take there and back. You're telling me it's going to be $20 to go to this place and come back? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep.
So I figured out. I was like, oh my God, Dawson does it almost every day. He spends $200 in tolls a week.
Yeah.
No, a month. Sorry. A month. $50
That's still
a week.
a lot.
$50 a week. And I told him, I go, do you realize that you're spending $200 a month in tolls? And he's like, what? I go, yeah. I go, do you have another route to Sherman? No, granted, he's going all the way to Sherman. But it's not a toll. It's only a toll between here and 75.
You can go up Virginia.
Well, that's what I said. I said, you can take Preston up to 56 and go to Sherman that way, and it's
but you're using Google Maps,
and it's 6 minutes longer.
You can always just click on, and I've never done that before because I've never cared. But when I got this, when I'm in the circumstance I am now, I went to a little option of avoid tolls.
I know,
and all of a sudden it's like it's 20 minutes longer, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't care.
Do you guys remember when I drove us to an estate sale? And we were just talking, and I was like just following whatever it told me to do. And then we were like, where are we? Why aren't we on the toll road? What are you doing? And I was like, well, I don't know why it's taking me through this. I had tolls turned off. And we were just mindlessly going. I was just mindlessly driving through subdivisions and shit. And I was like, I don't know where we're going.
Yeah, I
here.
miss going to those estate sales.
Like that, I do too a little bit.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was fun.
It's not too late. We can do it any time.
That's actually the genesis of how the podcast started. We would go to estate sales. You guys went, and then you were like, you should come along. And I went to estate sales with you, and then we were just...
Is that how it
yes,
started?
And then
we weren't doing podcasts before that?
I don't think so.
Really?
No, we weren't. I know that for a fact, because that's basically how I met you, Jeff, is when we were doing these estate sales.
Estate sales?
Yeah, and then we would go get a beer. And then we would sit at the bar and talk like we do. And then one of us was like, we should fucking record this shit. It's fun.
You'd have a hat with a camera on it.
Right.
A GoPro.
A GoPro.
A GoPro. So
yeah, I never really thought about that, but I guess that's how it started.
That's how it started.
So it was basically Jeff and I. We're the founders.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm the foil. Remember, Chuck?
No,
that's right.
You're the one that coined me as the foil. You were a loose cannon. You were very conservative. I was the one that brought us together and wrapped us in warmth and and comfort.
They're not a burrito.
I'm feeling
And
nauseous.
moisture.
Oh, I'm not a burrito. I'm the rice. You're saying I'm just rice?
Yeah.
You're the cilantro.
Here's white rice.
Is that a merkin coming out of your shorts?
Great. Never mind. Where's the music? Run the music.
But we should do those estate sales again. It's been probably a couple years since we've done those.
Yeah, they're
Definitely.
always fun. They're always fun. In fact, when we get out the car, we're like children trying to get to the front door. At least I am. I'm kind
Yeah.
of like, I can't wait to get out the car. And if there's other cars that park like around the same time you are, and it's kind of like, I'm going to beat them to the door
Yeah,
because
it
I don't
could
want
be a
them.
race.
Some little old lady,
I
you just
remember
knocked them into the hedge.
We were looking for like a fan or something for your garage, and I was like, Jeff, the fan over there, because it was like what
Yes.
$10-15
Yeah.
for like a $55 fan. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, get that.
Yeah.
There's some good finds, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
every now
downstairs
and
in the
then.
garage.
I
We-
grabbed these walnuts that
Yeah,
were
we
hand
stopped
carved from
going.
Bangladesh.
We stopped going when the Walmart scandal happened.
when the
Go-
walnut.
Walnut. Keep going. Yeah,
yeah.
walnut.
Well, I picked up these pair of walnuts. They were hand carved from I don't even know Taiwan or
Thailand
something.
or
It was
something.
it was
China.
badass, but they had all kinds of cool
Little
little
people.
sexual positions. I don't know.
Were they sexual?
Was
I
it the
think they
Kama
were.
Sutra walnut?
They were, and
I
and
guess I didn't look that close.
it was. I put them. They were in Paul's car, and one of them just fucking vanished. And I swear it was like
No.
in the wheel well. It was.
What,
It
is
just
that when the bourbon fell out the back?
no.
Maybe.
No.
But here's the
Was
thing.
that whole
He asked me where the walnuts were. I said, well, you must have left them in the car. So I go, and he says, they're in the pouch in the back of the seat. And I go in there, and there's none. Not one. Not one. And so I'm looking around in the car, and I found one, and it was on the floorboard, and the other one has never been found. So I told Sean, if one's on the floorboard, that means the other one rolled out of the car, just like Axe and Eden or Axe and Oak.
X and Oak?
Well, that was
right.
from poor driving.
And then what'd you do? And then he goes and looks up what the pair are worth.
$3,500.
But only the pair.
It was $3,500.
You have to have both.
Gotta
It
have
was
both of
funny.
them.
Yeah.
All right, it's April Fool's Day. Man, it's a good nice podcast. I enjoyed it. It's a good time.
Good one.
And shout out to the Heaven Hill Distillery for the Five Brothers.
Yeah,
the
very good.
1935. Is that what the 1935 edition?
I think that's when they started the distillery.
Is that what that's from? So what is this edition called specifically? It's
It's just Five Brothers.
Five brothers.
the Five Brothers version.
Kentucky straight bourbon that's aged 5 to 9 years.
I recommend it.
Commemorating the birth of that distillery.
Yes.
I recommend it for those whiskey drinkers out there that aren't sure if they really want to get into it. This is a great starter. It's got
And
a
they're
wonderful
gonna be
taste.
in Kentucky, and they're going to go to the Heaven Hill, buy it while you're there.
100%. And it's not one of those that it's going to, like, people are kind of like, oh my God, that hurts. It's not painful.
It's not painful
It's not painful at
at
all.
all.
Not at all.
Thank you, Mr. Producer, for being on top of stuff. It's April 1st. We have a fantastic podcast coming up on the second half. Stay tuned. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook, the Dudes Like Us podcast. Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm the foil.
And I'm Jeff.
You're a dick.